to My Accent is No Accident podcast. I am your host, Maritza Perez, and we are here today with an inspirational and resilient woman who is not only a storyteller but a wonderful coach and a speaker who will allow you to find who you are and bring that to life and brilliance. Lea Tran is the author of I Did Not Miss the Boat, Memoir of a Vietnam Hoa Refugee, a TEDx speaker, and a dynamic keynote speaker. She is a passionate human, connector, and community builder. A graduate from Villanova University, Lea began her career as an organic chemist at Wyatt the Merck Pharmaceutical. She was in the company for 17 years, where she holds patents on various drug discoveries. Before moving to Florida with her husband in 2015, Lea owned and operated a successful high-end window drapery business for 10 years. Lea now uses her knowledge, experience, and time to compassionately promote social development, to inspire her audience to unleash their stories, to lead to their potential. Lee's mission is to inspire people to transform themselves, step out of the shadow of fear or regret, and live with freedom, passion, and purpose. Welcome, Lea Tran, to my podcast. It is an honor to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much, Maritza. And it is my pleasure and honor to be here to meet with your audience. I am excited.
Yes, this is very excited, and I am so happy to have another woman that resilient as you.
Yeah.
And with that said, Lea, I'm going to ask you the first question that I always ask my guests. Lea, tell me, what is your accent and why is not an accident?
Great questions. I think, being an American, let me rephrase it, being a Chinese-Vietnamese American, I think sometimes I'm like a mud, you're a mix of many things. So I am Chinese, born in Vietnam. So even when I was in Vietnam, people say that we have an accent. We have a Chinese accent, learning to speak Vietnamese. And so that's who we are. Your accent is your core, is your roots. You carry with you no matter where you go, because that's how you were born into. That's how I was born into my family. And I left Vietnam when I was 16. So when I get to America, it is no accident, because that's who I was. And I spoke English with a Chinese and a Vietnamese accent. So it's not just one territorial accent, but is, very regional. And, but I didn't think okay back then, because when you were young, you have no confidence. You want to be everyone else in your surrounding. And I had no confidence because I was afraid to open my mouth, because I know that I would sound different, not only look different, but I would sound different, and people might laugh at me because I might say something wrong or something not accurate. So I kept my mouth shut for many years, not because I don't like to talk. I love to talk. If you don't notice, I'm a talker, but I was afraid to open my mouth because I was not confident enough because of my accent. And, you grow wiser with age. When you get older, you start embracing what is your core value. And I see my accent as my access, my assets right now. So English is tricky, but I speak 3 different language, dialect in Chinese, and learned French, and I spoke Vietnamese. So English is actually my fifth language and my sixth language, actually. So yeah, so I've incorporate all different kind of pieces that where I pick up in life and channel it all here. So I'm proud. I'm proud to call myself a mud.
That is beautiful. I love this in six different languages, and English is the one that you probably use the most now, right?
Yeah, I think it's like I'm using about 90% of it. I didn't have chances to use any other thing. I mean, I can understand some, but to speak, it is a challenge because now I have to think in English, and then trying to translate over. Really weird.
Yes, understand you completely, believe me. So I know that you have written a book that is magnificent. Um, the name of the book is a memoir, and is I Did Not Miss the Boat. It's a memoir of your life,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Um,
It's actually a short life. I mean, the book started, and then the book ended when I was 25. So it's like hopefully a quarter of my life if I live to 100.
yes, awesome. And then tell me about what is it that what is I Did Not Miss the Boat?
Okay, so if your audience don't know what boat people, uh, who they are, look up on Google. Boat people is a influx of people who escape Vietnam uh, out with a boat to the ocean, not knowing where they're going. They just want to escape the communists and go find freedom. So hundreds of thousands of people get out to the ocean, and I would say many of them have perished because they couldn't make it. And that's what we get the name from, because just an influx of people just keep sailing out. And a large number of people got landed to United States, and our families were the lucky one. But the title of the boat is I Did Not Miss the Boat, because I want to say that physically I didn't miss the boat. I'm here. But that is a figuratively speaking also, by not missing our opportunity in life. I feel like, the reason I didn't miss the boat, because to credit a huge gratitude to my dad, who actually put a lot of labor in there and built that boat with his team and got over 500 people out to the sea. And the journey was not easy. We were out in the China Sea for like 7 days, and there was we were, thirsty and hungry. We got pirated 4 times in the oceans. Many times that we didn't think we'd make it. We almost missed that completely boat of being alive, but we made it. But there's so many things in life, if we're not taking action, we're going to miss that boat. And because my dad, who planned, who cares so much, that he saved over 500 people to safety, landing in Indonesia in the refugee camp. And he gave me this opportunity of educations, of freedom. So I wouldn't miss any boat in life. This is up to me to do the bigger boat, right? The boat of having a purposeful life, of building a legacy for myself, and also to pass on his legacy, because that's what he gave us, freedom. And I just thought that it's so appropriate to name the book I Did Not Miss the Boats, because, figuratively and metaphorically, I've got them all. I'm here. And I want to encouraging our audience also, don't take things lightly, because if you get a chance, you know, take the opportunity, jump on the boat. And I have another message. If you don't have a boat that way, build one. You build it, and then you never have to miss one, which is what
Oh,
my
that is,
dad did. He built that, and we didn't have to miss the boat.
oh, wow, this is beautiful. What a wonderful message, Lee, and it's so powerful. Not missing the boat and building one if you do not see one coming. It is very powerful. And what a resiliency that you have and you and your father had, coming, all this way, making not the things that you probably didn't make it, going through. And how old were you when this happened? You were a child.
So when I left Vietnam, I was 16. So I wasn't a child anymore. I was old
Yeah.
enough to understand a lot of things. And that's the reason I felt like it's my obligation to tell a piece of the history that I lived through. And I am the oldest in the family of, 5 kids. So next to my parents are me. And I had blessed and bestowed on many responsibilities to take care of my younger siblings. So understand a lot. And it is hard because 16, 17, you're old, but you're young enough that you don't have the strong foundation of who you are yet. So I was really confused for many years. Like I said, you come over here and you felt like you're not the same with anybody, and everything that you learn in the East, the tradition, everything is almost like opposite, from the West culture. So I was feeling misfit for a long time. I felt like it's not me. I can't blend in because I'm different. I put all kind of walls and barrier for myself, and I'm glad I didn't miss that boat of tearing down the wall and making myself part of American, because this is all the Americans who come to this country.
Yeah.
They take a little bit of themselves and they integrate it into this beautiful collective society we call America, which is a melting pot or a salad bar, whatever you want to call it. It's a beautiful mixture of people from all walks of life. And I feel blessed to be able to be a part of me into this society.
And that is beautiful because it is true. I mean, we are blessed to be in a country that welcome so many,
Yes.
and that we are able to tell our story to our younger generations and to other people that, like you, like me, came through different forms. And you mentioned something that is very important. Once you come to another country, once you arrive here, and then you start realizing, this this is not a vacation. This is the place where I'm gonna live, and it's so different from where I came from.
Yeah.
The food is
Everything.
totally different. The obviously the language, the traditions, everything is absolutely different. And is a big country, and you feel lost. You do feel lost, and you're right. And then you feel like a little bit ashamed, a little bit shy to come out because you're different, and you don't feel safe. You don't feel safe. So that is something beautiful to hear, because one of the things that I also experienced was that, oh my goodness, I am very different. However, I was a little older, so I was more into the curiosity and get to know how to do things, um, and blend in. But at the end, there were things, core values that I moved in. My parents moved with us, we moved in together. So those core values, my parents were like, no, you're not getting out of that one.
Yeah, I think we come from a culture of very nucleus. Like, families always stick together. Either you live with each other or you live very, very close together. And everybody is in everybody's business.
Yes, yes. You move together like
Yes.
like
It's
a boat.
beautiful, but sometimes, yeah, it can be challenging too with the American individualist, idea of privacy and I need my own space. We never have that
No,
in Asia, right?
no, there is no space in Latin cultures. Like,
Right. We're
what space
together.
are you talking about?
We breathe
The
the same
moon?
air.
Yes. Yes, it is exactly the same. So, but you learn to realize as you live, learn to realize that those differences are actually cool for the other part. And then you start realizing, hey, they are paying attention to me because I'm different.
I think it comes with age. I think when you get older, you appreciate who you are, where you're from, more so than when you were young. When you're young, you're insecure. You just want to fit in. You just want to be blending in and be with the crowd, right? And you afraid of stepping out and being different. But you know what? Different is good. Different is what we need in this world because that's how we learn from each other. If everybody's the same, then there's nothing to learn from each other.
It will be extremely boring.
I know.
We'll be in a robotic kind of life.
Exactly.
No different ideas. No, we wouldn't even have different colors.
Right. So when I was young, I was tell my story because I was, like you said, ashamed and feel embarrassed that we came from nothing. We came to this country, without anything, except, some clothes and this sort of like embarrassing, but the more I start giving out a little bit of my story, the more I see people are hungry to hear the story that is different than just, raising up and having nothing but fun and what party to go. Nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't really offer a whole lot of value about how do you go through life and see things from a different perspective.
From a
And
different,
right.
yeah.
So I start to appreciate where my poverty, my challenges, things that I learned from my mom, from my dad, that what they say, oh my God, it used to sounds like, annoying, but now it start to make sense. Now it start to feel like, oh my God, that is a very valuable lesson. and and yeah, like I said, you get older, you start getting a little wiser and you think differently.
Yes, you think differently, and then you also, but it's also very important, and especially to us that probably are just arriving to a new country, not specifically this one, but to any other country that is different than yours. Celebrate your differences and embrace
Yeah,
them, but at the same time, when in Rome, do as Rome, right?
right.
um, Learn the other culture and immerse into it because learning other cultures is beautiful and is not to take over another culture
Right.
and to make them be like you or to be exactly like them, but to embrace the beautiful diversity in that diverse, wonderful, big world that we have. I mean, God made it for a reason. So let's celebrate those differences.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of time, that's why I become a story coach, because a lot of time that the story that we tell ourselves is not the nicest story. We always tell ourselves, the story of negative, the story of things that we're fearful. So we have to change that script. We got to change the way we look at the story, and until you figure it out where your story come from. And like you said, to celebrate is beautiful, but when you're not confident, you can't tell the story, then you tend to not want to celebrate it with other people. But if you can explain the story, the beautiful things that where you're bringing from your origin, from your roots, people will appreciate more. So, I think that's the skill of being able to speak up, the skill of being able to tell a story with conviction is what we all need to learn.
Yes, that is true. And your message is wonderful and beautiful. I how would you how would you tell our audience how not to miss the boat?
How not to miss the boat?
Yes.
Oh, that's easy. Always learn. Always keep an open mind, because once you start make up your decision that you're not going to listen, or you're not going to, want to explore or be curious, then everything stops from there. So first of all, I would say open your mind. Always listen, not to judge, but listen to learn. Second of all, is always do self-improvement. No matter how good you are, you can always learn more. You can always improve from somebody, and learn from people who've been there, so they can take you to the same place that they've there. So qualify the person that you want to learn from, because we are who we hang around with, right? We're the average of the 5 people we hang around with. So just be careful who you're going to absorb that information. Okay, so open your mind and learn. And the third one is do not be afraid. Take action, because you can learn all you want, but if you're not taking action, then you're still stuck in the same place. So for me, I think those are the 3. There's many more, but those are the 3 essential things that you will not miss the boat. Because opportunity comes when you're ready. And how are you going to get ready if you don't learn, if you don't try to improve yourself, or you don't speaking up? You will miss the boat. But even if you have no boat, like I said before, you can always use those skills and build your own boat and sail out to wherever destination you want to go. And that's my core message. And stories play a huge part of what tell you not to do or to do. So that's my short version of how not to miss the boat.
I love this. And it is true. I mean, if you don't open your mind, if you are not open to different things, and even it doesn't, you don't have to like them, you
Right.
don't have to do them, but if you open up your mind and you at least listened, you will be able to see that a path starts opening in front of your eyes, and you start going the way you're supposed to go.
You might learn something, right? Like you
Yeah.
said, you don't have to like it because it's not the same with your value or your whatever, but you learn, why they think the way they think, because, because of the story that they tell you. So, yeah. So talk it out.
Yes. And I think that one of the toughest things that you have to experience when you move to a different culture, and not necessarily to US, but to a different culture, is mm, to match your core values to
Mhm.
the values of the place where you are at. And the important thing is that you do not have to change who you are. You just have to embrace the others and learn from them. Like what Lee was saying, learn from what others are doing and what others are saying, and do it in a way that does not affect those core values that you had. And also, you will find out that sometimes the core values that you had for your whole life were not such a big deal, and you can probably change
I
them.
know. I know there's many ridiculous things that I learned in my early life in my own tradition. And it's like, you know what? We live so fearful for many years of those things that is not even important to this society or to wherever we want to go ahead, right? So those kind of things that it's just ridiculous. But until you step back and take a look at your own story and evaluate it and learn from the outside community, you won't able to see what you're fearful was the ridiculous thing.
Yes, that you were exactly that you were afraid of something. That's why probably the whole culture afraid of
Yeah,
something, and they
right.
decided to do some kind of set up a value or set up rules that were not uh,
Yeah.
necessary or are not necessary elsewhere.
Yeah, but one big example is my mom always like, oh, people are gonna laugh at you when you do this, or people are gonna say something. And I'm getting old to the point that it's like, why do you care so much about what people think and you don't take value of what you think? Is it fit for you? So it taught me in a way of rethinking my own schedule, my own mind, because when I was young, I'm always afraid of what the neighbor will laugh at you or what people will think. But they don't pay your bill. They don't take care of you. I mean, everybody can have their own opinions, and you can't please the whole world by doing things just to please people. You got to make sure that what you do is aligned with your own core value, and that's the most important thing. So yeah, it's just kind of funny, and up till now, when I write my book, my mom still's like, oh, people are gonna laugh at this. And I was like, you know what, if you are authentic yourself and you're comfortable with your own skin, it's okay, because you cannot make everybody else like you or
Yes,
happy for you or want to do the thing that you do, because that's just not a way to function in life, right?
exactly. Exactly. Not everybody is gonna like you, and just the same as you're not gonna like everybody.
That's right.
So, Lee, tell me, how do you help your clients? How do you help others?
Okay. So I know that everybody has at least one story or multiple stories in their lives, because we all have stories, right, that deserve to be heard. And sometimes we're not comfortable telling the story just because A, we don't know how to craft it. B, we're not confident about where we're from. Um, but I think story is beautiful if and we live in Florida. There's so many people who live a very full life and a very experienced life that have beautiful stories that they are not conversing with their children or the people around them. So I want to help them cut out their story and passing on to be their legacy. So I can work with anyone who has a story that who want to pass on to the next generations and not comfortable or how to tell them. So that's one pool of my clients that I help them. Second of all, everybody has a business, that has stories that come with the brand, and I help them to brand their story so it connecting more with their potential clients, because people don't buy just product. People buy the story that come with the product.
Yes.
I do business with people. I like them because they have the core value. They have the story that I believe in them. I trust them. So that is my other thing. I help people bring their brand story out so they can connect more with the potential clients and they're more confident about, what they stand for. And the third part is I can coach people if they have a message that they want to go on a TEDx, and I can help them craft a very poignant story that captivate the client, the potential viewers. So that's the three main people I work with. People to build their legacy story, branding story, and TEDx message that they have an idea that they're burned, they want to share, but they don't know how to craft a story that go with the message. That's what I also help them.
And put it together in such a few minutes.
Yes. Wow, that's all you have. TEDx is only, you want to do something less than 18 minutes. And for me, I think, best thing is like between 10 and 12 minutes. But that's hard to tell your message and your stories and, everything in such a short, but everything can be done. And I also can help people do public speaking. For many, many years, I was shy of public speaking. I devoted the last almost 2 decades on how to speak confidently in front of people. And I'm sure I can help other people to polish that skill as well, because public speaking is not born to have, it's not a skill that you're born with. So it is a learned skill set. So everybody can learn how to speak in front of other people confidently.
This is beautiful. We will probably continue the conversation. I love this. A few weeks ago, I had the opportunity we were rehearsing with friends that we have, and then telling our stories to each other just to see how we sounded, like pretending we were having a TEDx talk. And I couldn't make it in 18 minutes.
I know, that's the part. I had a really hard time when I first starting the speaking career. I ramble. I don't talk. I ramble, and it just go on and on and on without a point. So that's why it is very critical when you practice, you structure your content, and you write the notes, and you don't have to ramble on. And that's the skill set that we can all.
Oh, that is incredible. Thank you so much for that tip. So, Lea, tell us, we're getting to the end of our podcast. So tell us how people can contact you and find you.
Okay, so I am pretty much everywhere on social media. But if you would like to connect directly with me, my email address is Lea, Lea, at LeaTran, TRAN.com. My website is, LeaTran.com, very short. And I'm on LinkedIn. That's another place that you can connect with me professionally. Lea Tran, speaker and coach, I handle. And that goes the same with Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. So yeah, if you search for Lea Tran, I'm pretty sure you'll find me everywhere. And also my book is on Amazon. You can either order the book if you want to autograph from me, then go to my website and order the boat. I did not miss the boat, because I think the book is not just talking about the journey of a refugee family, but it's also talking about the pain that a lot of immigrants and refugees, how they cross the ocean metaphorically to come to build a new life. But it's all rewarding, and it is a very universal theme. And the culture, the tradition, you'll learn a little bit from where I come from. And so and also on Amazon, if you want to read the review about what other people have read and thought about my book, you're welcome to go to Amazon. I also have the audio book that I released out last October. So there's so many ways that you can connect with me, and it would be my honor and pleasure to connect with you, and just let me know about me. I mean, if you hear from here, just tell me that you're from the accent, no accent, and I will let Maritza know.
You say I heard of saw you at my accent is no accident, and then we will be able to put you there. Now remember, it's www.leatran.com. Lea Tran, LEATRAN.com.
I
Thank you
want to
so
thank
much.
you.
This
Yeah,
was
thank you for
beautiful.
being here.
This was beautiful. What a wonderful conversation. The resiliency and the story is really touches everybody's heart. Thank you so much for all those tips. And thank you, everybody. See you soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Hi, it's Maritza here. If you like this episode of My Accent is No Accident podcast and would like to listen more like this, subscribe wherever you're listening to it or watching it. Leave us a nice review and share with your friends, family, and network. Thanks for listening.